Mhm. I know you can hear me, but you can't see me. Hold on. Not every stream you start out with some scissors in your hand. Gosh, all right, where is... This is why I'm here to get things set up. Drop that down. I still don't love the new Wavelink app. Okay. You know, running with scissors is like my favorite phrase. And I know some people that, whenever they're like, you know, doing stuff and making decisions quickly and they're not making smart decisions, or like at work, I used to say, oh my God, we got to stop running with scissors, y'all. Because I always say that. I have a reason. There's a reason I have these in my hand. There's a reason I have them in my hand. Can you all hear the music? Can you guys hear the music? Lawrence, you're gonna be my tech guy tonight, I think. A little feedback person. Oh my gosh, my desk is a mess. It was not earlier, and now it is. I've got like scissors and a lighter and all the things. All the things. Take a sip of water. Oh my goodness. Okay, get that out of the way. I cannot stand to have clutter everywhere when I'm working and streaming. I can't stand it. Like, I already have too much crap here as it is. So, let's see. Andrew's here. He said, I had Wavelink, but I messed something up and it created an echo on my streams and recordings. I bet I know what it is. So Andrew, I might be able to help you out with that. And here's the thing. Guys, this is, I think, what we're going to be working on tonight. I think I am going to set this up tonight for a few reasons. Yeah, use it. Like, I might actually make a t-shirt that has some sort of incorporation of running with scissors. Like 100%. Robin says, you would despise my craft table. That's great. All right, do you guys like it when I put the chat on the screen? You know, I was thinking about this more and more. Was it yesterday that I was live? Yeah, no. What is today? Today? Yes, it's Friday. It was yesterday, where I was talking about putting the chat overlay up on the screen. And if you're watching on a TV and you have the chat selected to display on your TV, it's in the exact same spot. Like the exact same spot. Come on, StreamYard. I mean, these new features they're doing right now are amazing. They're amazing. That's one of them where they need to fix that. They need to fix it where we can move the chat overlay, because right now it would be double on the screen if you're watching on a TV screen, which True Crime Sushi, I love that name. I believe you're watching on TV. We did this the other day. Or I tried to do it, and I feel like it didn't work. Let's see. Where are you tuning in? I love these polls, you guys. They're fun. I just need to... Oh my... I can barely freaking see. I think it's dark mode. You guys, I know that a lot of people really like dark mode. I can't read the freaking text on here. And I'm not keeping these on. I mean, I can see better with them on, but really, like, I really don't love to wear my glasses. There's something on my face, it impedes my creativity, which is also when I used to have long hair, and I was like, if I was in the zone or talking or animated, my hair had to be up. I could not stand it. Okay, let's see. Phone. Tablet. We forgot that one. PC or computer. Some of you are Macs. Or TV. Create and start and show. All right, let's see where y'all are at. Let's see what's going on. Oh my gosh, we got all kinds of fun people. See, Friday nights are kind of fun. I mean, Friday nights are kind of fun. And Steve said, saw your notification, got me off the couch, started doing stuff. Yeah, because it's morning for you, right? Isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so Andrew says he likes dark mode. What's up, Dr. Vibe? Good to see you. Let's see. Oh, wait, Andrew, vote on the poll. Yeah. See, you guys can see the poll is so cool. I love the polls. Okay, no. See, I can't read that though as well. I could just be going blind. I could just be needing to, you know, can I change the dark mode? Yeah, light. It's going to light up my face more. Can I read you guys better? Oh, look at that. Just lit my face up. Cannot see the poll. Interesting. Maybe you can't see it on mobile. Huh. That's good to know, because the polls are new and I'm just now new using them. So some of you guys are typing in your, well, somebody voted phone, right? Okay, you guys are putting in the numbers. Why are you typing numbers? iPad too. Yeah. Are you able to vote? That's what I want to know. Can you see, first of all, can you see the poll right here next to me, to my right? And can you click on it and vote? Can you click on it? Is it showing up in the comments? Is that how it works? And you click on it there and then you vote? I feel like that's how it works. But I'm honestly not totally sure. The reason why these glasses are not going to work, especially in this studio, is because I am not optimized for glasses at all. So those are going off. That's a lot of reflection. I can see the poll on my phone. All right. Robin says, I can see the poll on my phone. So did MC. I can see the poll on my phone. True Crime Sushi says, I can if I make it full screen. That's why, because oh, is it optimizing me right now? If you guys are on the phone, is it optimizing me? Because I feel like I saw something from StreamYard that said they were going to force Mars, which is multi-aspect streaming, moving forward, which would mean that even though I don't select that I want to have a portrait version, that it is forcing one. I don't know. You guys tell me. Okay, cool. Thanks, Dr. Vibe. He says you have to vote in the comments. Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Parker Jennings. Okay, only on the screen. It's got to be, it's in the comments. Maybe you, this could be a user setting too. It may be a setting where you have polls turned off in your personal settings where you don't want to deal with polls. Cause it is, I'll be honest, some people, they always have polls up and I'm like, I don't want to see that. I want to see the comments. It says, okay. Robin says, it says, type the number that corresponds to your answer. Huh. Okay. Well, you guys, I'll be honest, it's a new feature for StreamYard, so I'm not used to it. Still got a lot to learn. That's why we do this. That's why we tinker. That's why we play. And that's why I'm here to do it for you, because most people are afraid to do what I'm doing right now. Most people are afraid to go live and try new things and experiment, which is why I love to use the thumbnail usually, which I didn't do that at all tonight. I love to use the thumbnail that says, probably breaking things, because almost every time I tinker live, I break something. And sometimes I break stuff to a point where it's actually kind of annoying. But the point is, this is fun, and I just want to see what this is all like. So Marianne says, just testing to see if it shows. Did it? It didn't. Okay. Well, you have to put just a 4, Marianne. Try just 4 with no comment with it. Andrew says, is that a challenge? Yeah, that's going to be our goal. Let's just break some shit. Like, it's not a successful tinker stream unless we broke something. Okay. All right. You know what the problem is? The biggest problem, and I'm changing it right now. I'm fixing this problem. Oh my gosh. Why did I not do this sooner? So my setup, my setup, my camera, my monitor is more than a full arm length away from me. And in this particular setup, which I was gonna try to hook up a background camera today, but I didn't have a long enough cable. And then I was gonna go to Best Buy and they closed. They closed kind of early compared to when they used to. But so I was gonna set up a background camera, which is actually it is set up. Where did I stick it? Oh, it's over here. Yeah, you can't see it in the shot. But I was gonna have it so that you can actually see what we're dealing with here, because in Studio B, it's very different than Studio A. So, but yeah, all right. Let's oh, we lost our music. Because I just played one song apparently. Could you guys even hear the music? All right, so what I just did, because I didn't actually share with you what I was doing. Marianne, it still didn't, or the Dr. Vibe show did it too. Huh. I don't know. Guys, the polls might just be a broken feature. I really have no idea. I'm really not sure, but we're still going to do it. Hello, Rocky. Good to see you. Good to see you tonight. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. I didn't miss saying hello to anyone. I think I said hello to everybody that's here. Yeah, at least commenting, right? So I am going to pop out the comments, which is the new cool feature that I am obsessed with. And here's what's kind of interesting. So the way my setup is in front of me, I have a pretty good size monitor. I want to say this is a 27-inch 4K monitor. I've had it for a while. And then I actually have my laptop down below. Normally when I'm in this setup up here, I actually have my laptop closed, and underneath the shelf thing, I have one of those like desk shelves. And I have it just slid under just for, again, clean desk. And then I use a wireless keyboard and mouse. And so it's kind of like a nice, just clean setup. But because I want to have a second screen tonight, I do have my laptop open. So I slide it out and I open it up, and it's actually right below the monitor that's up here. So it's feeling a little cluttered to me because it's more stuff in front of me than what I've become accustomed to and used to. Now when I'm working, I might have stuff out, but like documents and whatever. But hey, let's face it, I'm in between jobs right now, so there's not a lot of that going on. But I'm doing like I have a couple clients I'm working with right now, but like it's not anything like it was before. So anyway, so this desk is pretty clean right now, and I'm kind of loving it. So, tonight, let me just clean up because I seriously can't do clutter. You guys already know me if you've been hanging out with me for a while. You guys already know that I have ADD 100%, ADHD, whatever, ADD 100%. So the clutter is not okay for me. It makes things worse. All right, let me take this poll down because we don't care anymore. Creative Lady is here. Good to see you. I'm loving the feature where I can pop out the comments though. And that was where I was going with this because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to move. Well, if I end up doing when I get to the point where I'm going to be setting like up this microphone, I am going to share my screen so you guys can see the apps that I'm working in to be doing that. And so I want to be able to look at my big monitor to do that work instead of looking down. But I'm going to have StreamYard open down below. However, I'm probably going to have the comments up here in this monitor here because you can now pop the comments out and it creates its own window. The other thing you can do, which I haven't done yet, we may test out later, is I can use my phone and there's a QR code. You can scan a QR code and then it'll put the comments on your phone. You guys, like that is so freaking cool. I mean, like I'm so impressed with that idea and feature. I can't even contain myself practically. Now I will say having comments on screen is pretty cool, but no, I didn't refresh. I forgot to take it down. Let's take down that we didn't get a lot of vote. Oh, it just says, I wish it told us how many. It's 33%. It just gives us percentages. All right, let me go back into, I got to find it. Widgets. Okay. I can move the poll around. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop the poll. Oh, it tells me in here, 2 people phone, 2 people tablet, 2 people computer. Okay. All right, poll is done. Those are the results. End it, get rid of it, declutter the screen, right? Okay. I have this is I'm sorry. It's not a prop. I'm not going to kill someone. Um it is definitely it definitely is a thing. So Rocky, yeah, so normally I 100% have 2 monitors. Downstairs in Studio A, I have 2 monitors, 100% set up. That is the way to go. The only reason I'm using the laptop up here is because this is a cleaner setup up here. It's a really good laptop and it's just a much cleaner setup. Downstairs, everything is set and 100% like it is a dedicated station for content creation and editing and things like that. And I've just been wanting to be up here this time of year more so lately. Sammy's here. Hi, Sammy. Good to see you, my friend. Sammy Superstar is here. Good to see you for sure. Dr. Vibe says, you need to be careful on how many choices you have on polls because it can interfere with the view if there are a lot of people on the live stream. Ah, good to know. Good to know. Let's see. I know. Robin has been on viewed a lot of my streams. She knows that have talked about this for years, like the need for them making comments somehow in their own dedicated space so that you can still work in the other tabs and have comments open. Okay, here's what I want to do really quick. I want to get my screens set up and then I'm going to get some music going again because then I'm going to open up this new mic and we're going to set this mic up. And one of the benefits to the Elgato Wave mic that I love is you can tap on the top and it mutes the mic, but the software can still push out anything else that you're pushing out. I love that. All right, let's get some. It's throwing me off because my mouse is the way that's set up the screens or the displays is sideways, but my monitor's below. And when I had my setup like this before with my old work laptop, I had it the other way around. I had it vertically. So I would just drag down and now I got to go around, even though it's going over to go down. It's a weird thing. Yeah, Dr. Vibe, I agree. Oh, dang it. See, now I can't get back to my mouse over to where you are. Oh my goodness. Yes. So Dr. Vibe says, Bending Spoons. Yes, they are the current owner of StreamYard. They've been very aggressive with new features over the last few months. They really have. They acquired StreamYard from Hopin. They increased the prices. They did not do a lot with features for quite some time. Then they started to roll out some new stuff, like things like scenes and some other things, which I find I didn't feel like people were really asking for scenes, nor do I really feel like anyone talks about scenes or really uses them. Maybe some people do. I think they can be great, but I just for me personally, I don't know that the common StreamYard user was really wanting those or asking for those. And I think that one of the beauties of Dan and Gage was that they were very careful about not overcomplicating the platform because they wanted one of their pillars was ease of use, right? And it was I think that's a battle is like adding features without overcomplicating the platform because people are asking for something, but then it's like, oh, you're adding complication. So, I mean, I do like how you can minimize scenes. Like you can be like, I don't want to use scenes. I don't really use scenes personally. I've kind of dabbled with them. The way that I create content right now, I don't really need them. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to start using scenes. I think scenes are very helpful. Like Andrew, Bowling with the Fef. I'm curious, are you I actually am really curious to know when you or if you're using scenes because I mentioned this yesterday. I gave Andrew some shout outs. Oh my God, I'm trying to get back into my StreamYard window. I mentioned Andrew's stream yesterday. I gave him a shout out because he does a really good job producing his show. It's not anything, super fancy or extravagant, right? Which is the beauty of it, which is I like that. However, he is incorporating clips and some pre-recorded interviews and some things. So he says I do not use scenes. Okay. All right. I was curious because I was thinking some of those clips and some of those things that you're doing, you could be preloading those into scenes. And then you're just sort of clicking them. But honestly, I'll be totally you guys, I feel like StreamYard, especially Dan and Gage, they already tackled making it easy for us to add the media, click on it, to play a video. I mean, I feel like it works really well. I just think that if you have some really super custom thing you're trying to do, I know Kirk Nugent, he's a friend of the channel. He's an Ecamm user, but he uses StreamYard as well for some of his church clients because that's just what they need to use. And I don't know that he still is. I think he got a little frustrated with some of the quality issues he was running into because of what he was producing with StreamYard. I didn't really do a unboxing, but you saw me open that. Um, but I will show you guys the mic as I pull it out. So, uh, I just think that it's easy enough that we don't need scenes unless you are doing some of those more super creative and lots of just extra stuff. So anyway, I mean, I don't know. Creative Lady said scenes are helpful, but I rarely use them. I that's sort of how I feel. I guess I'm just sort of like right now, at least a little indifferent to them. They're just they're not they're not they're just not useful enough for the added layer of potential issues. And that is actually one of the things is I've run into some issues with some stuff, right? So yeah, I know. The town halls were great. Everybody misses Dan and Gage. And I can say that because you guys bending, I mean, I'm not affiliated. I'm not a partner with StreamYard. I have an affiliate link, of course, but I mean, I'm not, but yeah, I think we all miss Dan and Gage. I saw Dana posted a video on LinkedIn and I know that Dan and Gage announced recently they've invested. I think they're work. I don't know if they're involved with the platform, but I know that they're investors at least in a new tool called Livid. So if any of you guys are Vimeo users and you're hosting videos on Vimeo, Vimeo was recently acquired by Bending Spoons and recently did a very significant price increase. And so Livid is an alternate tool that was created to accommodate people who don't want to deal with that. So just saying, if you're a Vimeo user, go check out Livid for sure. Um, so Andrew says, I load them into the videos tab and click them on the fly. That's exactly that's what I do. I feel like they've made it really easy. So yeah. Dr. Vibe says Kirk uses Streamlit for his clients. That's what I thought. I didn't know if he still was. I thought he was. And I know he especially on his church clients. That's what I thought. So anyway, okay, so let me I said I was gonna get background music going. I didn't do it. I want to do it because it's awesome and I enjoy having a little bit of music in the background. It may not be for everybody, but I like it. And I like watching live streams that are Tinker live streams where there's a little bit of vibe music in the background. So I did find, let's see, I found a track And then I did like a fine similar, but it's got to be kind of chill. So this is where I'll be honest, I'm not totally prepped tonight. Is I did not where's my liked songs? I we go in here, create a list. So it's very always great to have a list ready for whatever you're trying to do, because you don't want to have music you've never listened to playing because you don't really know what it's going to do or sound like or whatever. So this whole the way that I have my laptop down below and I don't have it set up so that my mouse goes up and down is really throwing me off like bad. All right. Also, I think it was kind of like a chill. There it is. Morning coffee. Let me go to find similar. Oh, I can't hear any of that. This is what we're going to be working on tonight, though. Okay, can you guys hear the music? You're at 30%. Okay, so Lawrence, I know, yeah, he moved to Ecamm. He says scenes have been helpful. So if I went back to StreamYard, I would probably use scenes. I can see that. I can see that. I think it's sort of like once you are used to that method, then that's what you want. Now, I will say, I think this is one of the things that bothers Kirk, is that I know that the scenes setup over in Ecamm is very sort of like folder-ish. Like you can set up certain scenes for certain shows, and it's not quite as robust over in StreamYard. And I know that, and I think that was one of the things he gets frustrated with, is he always has to like configure the scenes. And it's like, he's like, I don't have to do that with Ecamm. Makes sense, but kind of is what it is. All right, let me know if you guys can hear the music. Curious if you can. Because it's playing. You know what I don't need? I don't need a chat mix. Can I just delete this? Delete mix. Yeah. Okay. Clean that up. 5 by 5. What do you mean 5 by 5? What does that mean, Rocky? Okay. 5 out of 5? Is that what you're saying for the music? Okay. Here's what we got. I bought the Elgato Wave 3 mk2. That is the new Wave 3 microphone. I have the Wave 3 microphone and I have had it for years and I love it. It's a great microphone. It's a great microphone. I love it. It is easy to use. It is very plug and play if you want it to be. And I really feel like the quality is incredible. I think the quality is great. I think you can tune it very well. It's small. It's actually is partially designed. It's the Elgato partnered with Lewitt, and Lewitt is known for very high-end microphones. This microphone's great. I think this microphone, to be honest with you, does sound great. It is more expensive than the MK or than the Wave 3. It is larger and requires it's not as low profile, but then the thing about the Shure microphones is that they kind of have a look to them. They look like a cool fancy mic. And usually I have this kind of going up here like this, which looks like crap actually, whatever. They kind of have that like podcast, video, and especially now with video podcasts, the whole fancy Shure mics and the long, like, they create a vibe, right? And I think that's a thing. And I'll agree. It's even gotten me a couple times. I'm like, I like how it looks in the shot. It's kind of fun. What I don't like is this big old arm that it takes, because what I don't really want to do is, at least right now, I don't want to have a mic arm attached to this desk. I feel like I want this desk to still be, I can easily just declutter it and focus, because it is my work office. Like, it is where I want to work. I want to focus. I want to think. I want to be do my strategy work here. I want to do my writing here. I want to like editing even here. Like I need it to not be cluttered. And when something is attached to the desk, it feels very permanent. So I like how this is on this arm and I can move it around, but I don't like this arm. So what I think I really want to do is figure out a similar setup, but with this microphone instead. So you guys, okay, we got a little, this is kind of what I was going for tonight. Or is that the right song playing next? It's a little jammy for background music for a tinker session. So I don't know. Yeah, aesthetic. Yep. Professional streamer. It does make it creates a look, right? Dr. Vibe says, I don't find the scenes in StreamYard. I don't find the scenes set up in StreamYard very user-friendly, so I really don't use the feature. I find creating scenes in EVMux easier than StreamYard. Is that what you're using now, EVMux? I tried it. EVMux does not offer vertical and horizontal streaming. I actually had some meetings with them, and there's a lot of things about the EVMux tool that I actually really liked. I did find it to be buggy. I had some issues, but it's a newer tool. I don't think I think they're a very lean operation. I think they're great guys. I mean, I can't say anything negative at all about them. I worry that they may not make it like in the long game, just with everything happening. And just, I mean, I don't know, maybe they will, maybe some stuff can help them be. I just found that there were some bugs, there were some user interface issues that I had. All right, so this thing is got some funky wrapping on it. There were some user interface issues I didn't love, and I did give them my feedback, and it was like they were kind of like, I don't know, it was almost like they didn't either fully understand what I was trying. I even made them videos, but it's fine. I never ended up moving to them. I tried it, played around with it, had some issues, and then, I mean, I just didn't stay with it. I just was like, it's not enough for me to change. And so I also was taking a break from streaming at the time anyway. As many of you guys know, I literally like packed everything up and I put it away for a while because I just needed to focus on my job, and I really wasn't in a streaming. I just wasn't streaming. And I was having tech issues at the house. I was having internet issues, and it was frustrating. And every time I kind of would try, there'd be problems, and it would be very frustrating. And for me mentally, it was like it was causing some really big challenges for me. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to officially take a break. And to do that, I need to officially disassemble the studio and the setup. So I did. And so that's probably a bigger reason why I really never ended up going further with EVMux, is because the timing was just not for me. So anyway, but I see now Dr. Vibe says I'm not using EVMux at this time. All right. Rocky says, 5 out of 5 is a radio communication term, meaning a signal has maximum strength 5 and perfect clarity 5, indicating the message is received loud and clear. Okay. Didn't know that. Thank you, Rocky. I love learning new things, by the way. I was trying to take this weird wrapping that's on here off in a, I don't know, like a fancy unboxing way. I was not successful. All right. Right out of the gate, how does this feel? Right out of the gate, this feels... Okay, just first, right out of the gate. This part right here feels a little cheapy. The microphone feels the same as the other, so the casing's probably very similar. This music is hilarious. What are we listening to right now? I think that instead of playing more, I don't know what it did. Let's just go. I know what we're going to do. We're going to go to, sorry guys. We're going to go to a lo-fi and find a lo-fi. I don't know what this is. All right. We had a good lo-fi one a while back. Is it still around? Yeah, there it is. Okay. This is a good mix. fact, I think Marianne was commenting one time that she liked this mix. Okay. Sorry. I don't know if I gave this enough credit. I love that you said this because I like learning new things. So 5x5. I did not know that, but we're going to keep that 5x5. Okay. So y'all, thanks to Rocky, when I start my streams, I don't even want to have to ask you. So my Mel Maniacs, I forget who says that, but Mel Maniacs, if you're one of the Mel Maniacs, when we start the stream, jump on. If you're on in the beginning, I want a 5x5 in the comment if we're 5x5. Okay. And that's all because of Rocky. So Rocky gets all that. Okay. Gets all the credit for that. All right. So Metallica. You want to hear Metallica? Oh my lordy. Ecamm fam here. Timeless wonder for you. Yeah. Awesome. Love it. Roadcaster. No. So I use the Wavelink application, Creative Lady. That's what I use in order to, and I'll show it to you in a sec. I'm going to pull it up on screen here. But all right, so we're basically going to be setting up the Wave 3 mk2 tonight. And it already feels a little cheapy. Like I was saying, this part right here feels very cheapy. It feels very plasticky and light and a little bit flimsy. But overall, the rest of it feels very similar. Now, I'm trying to remember, because I have a different bracket. Yeah, I already know. Oh, in fact, the bracket's down here. Hold on. I have the original, because I have a shock mount for the other Wave 3 mic that I have. So that mic has it has the Elgato shock mount. So I don't have this part hooked up. So I'm like, is the other one cheapy like this too? I have it right down here. I don't think it is. I did. I knew I did. So this is metal. I mean, this guy's metal. Oh, but this is plastic. Okay, I see now. It unscrews. Oh, yeah. And I'm going to have to get the extender piece. I should have bought the extender piece. Okay, so this feels the same. This feels the same. So that is not a downgrade. I think they've just, I just haven't, I literally never used this mic stand. Ever. Like, I don't think I ever used it. But it's ironically right down here in my desk, isn't it? So basically, and we'll see how it compares. I'll keep this out. So, okay, so far, it's the same. They did not downgrade. I'm always like, don't get cheap on us. Don't be getting cheap on us. Like, this thing's not made of metal already. Don't be getting cheap on us. Because that's one thing that people like, especially like gear streamers and people that have been doing this a while. They don't like the plastic stuff. They don't like a plasticky feel to a webcam or a camera or a microphone. They don't like it. It's not their jam. I don't really care for the most part. Let's see. Yeah, so I sorry, I didn't mean to, I just saw your comment, Dr. Vibe Show. He said when he asked them about vertical streaming in early February, they said, yes, this is a part of our roadmap. However, they don't have an estimated timeline yet. Yeah, I think, look, I really think the guys are great over there. I really do. And you know, they, I know one of them was relocating one of them already lives in Florida, and the other one was going to be moving, he and his family, from Israel to Florida. And that was when I last spoke to him, which was like over a year ago. So I don't know where those guys are, but they probably got a lot going on. All right, so we've got a USB-C to USB-C cable, and it's the nice cloth braided. Elgato's done a nice job with their cables. They have very nice cables. This, I'm guessing, is going to be an adapter for the mount. Yep, that's exactly what it is. So this is an adapter for the mount. So basically, if you have, so a lot of the mounts, in fact, this one right here would be right here. So you stick this, goes on here, and this skinny little guy that comes on the mic. Let me get this comment down. Oh yeah, forgot about the spacebar shortcut. See, you get out of this for a while and you kind of forget how to do stuff. So basically, you screw that on, just like that, and then now you have a larger mount. I don't have product showcase on. So now you have a larger mount. And that's what the adapter's for. And then of course I have a whole slew of the adapters. I mean, I got like, it's like couplings and couplings and couplings on couplings, because that's what you got to have sometimes. All right. What else do we have in the box? Oh, yep. We got a stand in here. You can feel it. And it is maybe heavier than the original stand, to be honest with you. That should be it. That should be all that's in the box. Beautiful blue Elgato boxes. Okay. All right. So, thinking out loud here for a sec. The issue with the stand that it comes with, this is what it looks like assembled, as I showed you earlier. It's really small. It's very short. Like, so short that I'm kind of like, why'd you even bother? Like, in a way, I mean, the only way you could actually have that mic in front of you is like if it's on a platform of some sort. Now, what I will say, this mic has great range. It does not require a ton of proximity to sound good. And with all of the Rocky's gonna go make dinner. What are you making tonight? You gotta tell us that before you leave. It's so short, but it comes with an extender that you can buy where it's taller. However, I mean, this mic, that's one of the things I really like about it is, so if you go on the StreamYard YouTube channel, you will see like a lot of videos I recorded for them a long time ago. And any video where you don't see a microphone in the shot, I am using the Wave 3 and it is down lower and further away from me so that it's not in the shot. And it sounds great. It sounds fine. So again, I think that the proximity factor with this microphone is really great. And with all of the updates to software and how you can reduce background noise, which is usually the problem with proximity. You need to have it close to you so you can have the gain down so it doesn't bring all the background noise in. Like, I don't know. We'll see how it sounds, I guess, tonight, and we'll go from there, right? Why does this seem different, though? It is different. No, it's not. No, it's not. Let me just take this out of here. Throwing me off that I'm not used to this. Grilled cheese and tomato soup. That sounds delicious, actually. My daughter is actually sick, so she would probably love that for dinner. Oh, there you go. So Rocky says he's a mechanic for an airline, and he just got home. Well, there you go. You're probably ready for some dinner and some rest. Okay, so far, it is feeling the same. I think it's the same weight. This one feels a little bit more grippy, whereas the new one feels slicker. But that could just be because I've had this a little longer, although I've not really used it. Let's just feel it. Desk. Yeah, I think the old one might be a little bit more of a rubber foam that's got a little more grip. Whereas this new one is slicker, but it's not going to be a problem. It still grips just fine. True Crime Sushi says they just ordered pho, so there you go. Everybody's eating dinner tonight. Thought I heard thunder, but it's just a really loud truck. We had some storms come through earlier tonight, so okay, so let's get this thing going. So here's okay, let me talk while I'm undoing this. The reason why I think I want to switch is because this is the Shure I get all these now. I'm getting MV7. Jeez, the original MV7. And so it's not there's been two models that they've made since this one. There's like the MV7 Plus and there's like MV7A, I don't know, something else. But good night, Rocky. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for tuning in. And thanks for giving us the 5x5. We're going to use that. So this is a nice length cable here. This is a 6 foot Got to be a 6-foot cable, which is great. I think it's 8 feet. This bad boy is 8 feet. I think it's 8 feet. Yeah, I'm going to say it's 8 feet. That's pretty cool. I don't need 8 feet, but it's all right. We're going to use it. It definitely helps with cable management when you have a longer cable. Well, it can. It can also be a pain with cable management. So the reason why I want to switch, I think I want to switch, I'm going to switch, is because the Shure MV7 requires XLR for it to sound good. I mean, it does sound okay with USB. It is super quiet. It doesn't sound as good, whatever. So it requires XLR, which means that it requires an XLR interface. Right now, I am using, and I couldn't get this to work. I couldn't pull this enough because, is it? Oh, there we go. Okay. Don't break anything. It requires an XLR interface, which I'm using right now, the Stream Deck Plus with the XLR dock. So it's added expense. And now the Stream Deck Plus is a great tool. We can talk about that a little bit here in a minute. So it requires an XLR cable that does go into the XLR interface. So it's not an extra cable, but it is an extra piece of hardware that you have to have. And then that hardware goes into your computer. The Wave 3 just requires a USB cable. Sounds amazing. It's lightweight. It's roughly the same size in length. However, it's skinnier. This is basically circular. This is, oblong, if you will. It's 2 different shapes. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Okay, right there. If I was using this mic, I would have tapped the top and muted it, and you wouldn't have had me sneezing. You wouldn't have heard me sneeze. So, again, size, not that different. However, recording pattern is different. This microphone the audio is coming in through the top. So I can't really I can't have it sit like that in front of me. I mean, I can, but it sounds a lot better when I talk into the recording area. And so it does require that angle, that shape, that style. Whereas the Elgato microphone does not. It records in the front side here. So right in here is where it records. It does not record back here. It records right here. I don't think they added a rear recording pattern to it. I think it still just records from one side. But with that means the microphone needs to be facing me, whether it be right here up in my face or down below or out. It needs to be facing me like this. Okay. So, or, to the side, whatever. And I've done it that way. I've actually done it off to the side, whatever. But for the most part, it just needs to be right in front of you like this. So, there's some differences with the profile itself, but USB-C is the key. A USB-C does not require an XLR interface. It can go right into your laptop. It can go into a dock. If you have a dock, it can go into a port, anywhere else. It's much simpler. And, it's just got a more universal connection point, right? So I like that about it. But here's why it's a benefit for me. I can now take the XLR dock off of the back of my Stream Deck Plus or I can switch because the one I have downstairs, same thing. And I can use the Stream Deck Plus USB dock. Is that what it's called? I forget what it's called. But it's basically it gives me extra USB-C ports and USB-A. And so why is that useful for me? Well, because up here, I am just using a laptop. And right now, I do have a docking station, and I'm already out of ports on it. I mean, if I want to keep a USB-C plugged into it so I can plug my phone in to pull videos off of it or to just charge it, whatever. If I want to keep this plugged in, I'm out of ports on the docking station, not on the I have one I have one more USB-C on the laptop, but I don't want to do that. I want to be able to leave the laptop underneath the ledge and just have it away. So again, this whole kind of like set it and forget it sort of philosophy when it comes to creating content, I need to be able to have it hooked up regardless. And I need to be able to just unplug my laptop and go. I don't want to have to unplug 3 things from it. I just want to unplug it from the docking station and go, because I do take this laptop with me when I go away and do stuff and work. So that's kind of the benefit for me, is I get to add extra ports and I can simplify that part of it. And so that's what I'm really looking forward to being able to do with it. So with that being said, what we're going to do is I'm going to hook it up into the available USB-C port for now, but I'm not going to unhook this because I kind of want to do a comparison, because I think we'll be able to do a little audio comparison back and forth. So what is the one more benefit that Elgato came out with this? The Elgato mk2 has the processor right inside of here. So the processor that does all the audio processing happens right inside the microphone, not through software and not in another device. What that does is it speeds up it shortens the gap of the latency. Shortens the gap of latency if you're doing high quality stuff, but also if you want to be doing monitoring and listening, it shortens the gap of the latency there. So that's a pretty big feature that a lot of people were really excited about. I'm skeptical about it personally. I just am. I'm skeptical because it's still routing through software, and I'm curious to know if I can wirelessly monitor myself instead of being because the regular Wave 3 microphone, if I plugged headphones into the back of it and listened and had that as my headset, then it was real time. Just like the original Blue Yeti, you plugged your headphones into it and you heard yourself speak. You could literally hear yourself, which was a very great thing. And awesome. I mean, like, especially when things started, you kind of had to use headphones back in the day if you incorporated any other sound. Like right now, I am playing music through my speakers, but because all the software and everything's gotten so smart, you guys aren't hearing it. You're not hearing what's coming out of my speakers into the mic, which would be delayed and would be creating an echo, because you'd be hearing it from the software and from the speakers into the mic. So it used to be that you had to use headphones. You don't now. However, because of that elimination of the requirement of headphones, I now can't hear myself. I can't hear how I sound. I can't hear my audio levels. I can't hear if it sounds pure. I can't hear if it's, peaking out. I have to rely on gauges and stuff. So there is a beauty in being able to listen, but there is also a beauty in being able to use a wireless headset instead of another freaking wire and being wired into something. So that was a very lengthy explanation about why I am excited about trying this mic out. So I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to mount this to the piece that it came with. I will probably go ahead and order the extender, or I may just look into some options for a mic stand. I could use the one that I've got right here in front of me, but I can actually show you in a second. Actually, I'll show you right now. I'm just going to show you. This thing's a beast. This is not really, I mean, it's a super heavy stand because it needs to be heavy, or or your mic the weight will tip it over. It's really not designed for what we're doing. It's what I have. And I don't really want to buy new stuff. I have plenty of stuff. I have mounts that clip to the desk. I have a couple of those available to use. I don't really want to do that, as I said earlier. And but I feel like I can figure this out. I can find something that will work. And with that being said, that's not the ooh, I can test it with this. I'm going to test something really quick, and then I'm going to hook this thing up. I swear I am. I promise I am. Okay, we're gonna test something, because if this is the adapter, then this is the threading. What I'm testing is this is a cell phone mount that goes to a regular tripod. The same threading and mounting that is on every freaking tripod ever. If this fits, which I feel like it's not going to. Oh, it does. Okay. Okay, so what this means is that instead of mounting it to this little, oh my gosh, this is a game changer. Instead of mounting it to this tiny little stand that's literally 2 inches off the ground, I can mount it to a miniature tripod. And I can just set it right in front of me. I think that's what we should do. I think that's what we're going to do. Okay, see, remember when I said I don't like clutter? Yeah, we're cluttering it up. All right, so I gotta say, are you guys still here? Okay, I know you are. There's a few of you watching. All right, so this is, I have 2 of these, and I love this tripod. I don't think you can buy it anymore. I talked about it yesterday. Polar Pro. I like it. It's rubber. I like that it grips. It's got a really good base. It gets wide, but it can also be low profile tall. Like skinnier, but be there. Should have the Jeopardy theme song. Seriously, I know. So that's one thing I want to set up is my Stream Deck with my sound effects. I don't know that we're going to get to that tonight because I'm talking too much about this. Okay, so I like it because, you know, it folds up and is pretty small. I mean, it's very small, 5 inches maybe. But then it can get up to like 3 feet if you need it to. And it was originally designed for GoPro, but it can be used for whatever. I have 2 of these. This one, the inside, one of the pieces, like in the, it's telescopes. One of those is cracked, so it doesn't hold very well sometimes. However, it's perfect for if I need it for something short. So right now, what I was going to do is I was going to use this as my backup camera, or my behind the scenes camera, which I probably still will. Set this up on a small tripod like this, because I also have this one, very similar style. I just don't like this one as much. And the reason I don't like it as much is because this part doesn't want to hold very well. So if you're moving it around a lot, it tends to be kind of a pain. But if I set this up and it's my background camera, it's not moving again. So and I think it will be just fine for that use. What's kind of cool about this is it telescopes really easily, whereas the other one you have to do the twist style to tighten it up, which is kind of a pain in the butt. This one just doesn't quite get as low profile. Is that screw? I was thinking that would go down one. Doesn't act like it wants to. This is like it's made by Bauer. I think they still sell these. Don't buy it. Cheapy. Comes with like a remote, selfie stick remote. I never used it. What is this? Oh, it's got another screw point. So if you wanted to mount it on top of something, you could. We don't need to do that. Let me screw that back in there though. But this will be, it might be too tall for the camera, but it's okay. That's what we're gonna explore next. So I'm gonna take this off of here. Glad that you guys are still here. I can see that people are here, but it's good. I'm glad you guys are still here. And I'm okay with you guys multitasking and just kind of listening to me and chilling. It's Friday night. I mean, it's like getting kind of late. Dr. Vibe is still here, and Creative Lady, she said, I'm setting up my streaming setup with the OG Wave 3, the old school Wave 3. Yeah, OG Wave 3. I'm telling you, I will never get rid of that mic. I will keep both of them. First of all, it is lightweight. It's a great mic to take to travel because it just plugs in. It's plug and play. If that's all you need, and you need a plug and play for something simple, it's freaking great. I will not be getting rid of the OG. It will be it's going to be the setup. And this guy, I don't know what I'm going to do with this guy. It looks cool though, doesn't it? Like it looks cool. It looks like I'm doing something important. It really does. So let's unscrew this that we had on here. Hello, kiddo. And then we're gonna see if it works. My prediction is looking correct. Oh yeah. You guys, look at that. Okay, so let me just kind of, ooh, it's a little tall though. It's a little high. That's as low as I can make it with this part. Yeah, that's a bit low, isn't it? Or a bit high. But I'm curious. Yeah, that's not gonna work. But I can go sideways if I want. What you gonna do? Well, it doesn't go down any further than that. Well, yeah, and I could do it sideways. That's kind of thinking too. Like I could do a. I've seen people do this with mics. I've actually seen a lot of this lately. As long as it doesn't tip over. Okay, we could do a sideways. Like it would be like that. So I'm going to hook it up here in a minute. It's not hooked up yet. It looks weird like that. Don't you guys think? Looks kind of weird. Lawrence says, I think I want the Stream Deck XL Plus that they just came out with. All right. I will tell you, Lawrence, I almost ordered it until I saw, who was it? Was it Nutty? He's kind of like a quirky game streamer, but I like what he does. I get ideas from him. I just like watching him. He does a lot. He does a lot of just goes live and just talks to people. He's kind of quirky though. But he showed it in a video he did, or it was either him or somebody else, and they did a side-by-side comparison to the Stream Deck Plus, the Stream Deck XL, or is it Stream Deck XL? Anyway, and then the big boy. The XL Plus. I was like, oh, that's too big. Like, I mean, it's so tall. If they let it be like adjustable, maybe, which I don't know if the platform comes off of it like the other Stream Deck, but it's huge. And I'm just like, I don't need all those knobs. I literally was like, you know what? I think worst case, I would use the Stream Deck Plus next to another Stream Deck Plus, or the Stream Deck Plus next to the Stream Deck. So depending on what do you have? Do you have a Stream Deck already? I'm assuming you do. But what do you have already? Because honestly, like that was my biggest thing is it's really big. It's actually like really tall. And it like sticks up, and I was like, that's going to be, I actually did like I was like, oh yeah, that's going to be right in, like touching my monitor. So to me, that was the reason I didn't go for it. And I'm glad I didn't, honestly, I mean, but fine. Okay, so we'll worry about this. I'm not sure this is actually going to work the way I thought it was. I got real excited for a second. But here's the other thing. I actually think I have a shorter one of these guys somewhere else. So yeah, I don't know. Dang it. Now I'm like kind of wanting to see if I do have something. Do I have a shorter? I don't know. You know what's going to happen is I'm going to end up ordering something for it. Because I do like the idea of it just being like, okay, I'm done streaming. I can now move the mic over there. I don't need it right now. So I like the idea of a platform style. But what I don't like about platforms, and like right now, I'm actually remembering it because it's happening right now. I had to move my keyboard out of the way to put this here. That's a problem. That ain't gonna fly. I don't want to be, I got to have the keyboard. I got to have it. That's the whole point of a mic stand that does attach. It's pretty nice. So for now, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to hook this in. Do I want to go into, yeah, I think I want to go into the, into my dock. So let me get up and do that. My desk is a mess. Okay. Oh, I wish I had that on screen. Actually, I'm gonna. Oh man. When I plugged it in, it appeared in the Wavelink app, which I don't have on screen and I need to do. So let me get that showed for you. Let me show that for you guys. Because that is something I wanted to do. I wanted to have that on screen. Both these up here together. So why don't I'm gonna move. I think. I wish that Epidemic Sound would like read the room and realize how people use their freaking thing and how so many people use it to stream. And I wish they would literally make it so that they had like a low profile version. They don't. And of course, if you they have like a Spotify account or profile, but if you stream from Spotify, you actually can't, it's not the same rights, it's not the same licensing. So it's like, come on, when is Epidemic Sound going to come out with their own app? Like, do it. They have an app for the phone, but not for the computer. All right, where is my StreamYard window? Oh, wait a minute. No. Oh, there it is. Jeez. Okay. All right. Now, I don't love it, but it's fine. I got to do it for you guys. So. Yeah, Nutty is appropriately named. He's good though. He's just different. And I feel like one day I'm going to do a Nutty impression. I really like the guy's stuff. He's super smart. I really like the guy. Lawrence says, I have a plus and an X and then an XL. So it would replace those. I get it. I mean, I get it. It's one device. As long as you feel like you will use, and if you're an Ecamm user, you probably will use every bit of every button. As long as you feel like you need all those buttons, then, and you have the space and you don't mind the height of it, yeah, go for it. You should sell the other equipment though. You could probably sell them in the Ecamm trade group. That seems like it's smaller. It's not a ton of people in there, but like it's people like us. So somebody will buy your old gear. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. There we go. All right. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to move this forward a little bit. Got crap everywhere. Okay. So what we've got here, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. All right, so if you look, the Wave 3 was not here, but when I plugged it in, it showed up. I unplugged it and I was kind of like, oh, I wanted them to see what happened, but I didn't have that share with you guys. So it's unplugged now. I'm going to plug it back in. And when I did, I'm turning this mic on. So as you can see, it's lighting up. Yeah. Like it lit up. And as you can see, it does have on mic monitoring, and that is an addition that they made to the mk2. So that green dial that you see is the monitoring that's happening as it's picking up noise. So right there on the hardware, you can tell it's registering. I don't know if it's going to get really red. Yeah, it doesn't change color. It just stays green to show you, hey, this mic is working right now. It's registering, it's hearing you. And then it's got a glow. Oh, it does. No, it does. It does turn yellow when you hit the max there. So yeah, that's interesting. And then it's got a glow here for the dial of your, when you move that, you can see that little white part right there. That's showing like, you know, where the level is. If you turn that down, it goes down, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to tinker with this thing here in a sec. Now this mic does come with some different features as well. It has an automatic adjusting, which is what I'm kind of intrigued about. So it showed up here in the app. Let me get back to that. So it showed up here in the app, right here, Wave 3 mk2. And what's really weird, I don't even, this is probably background that's not even needed. When the Wave XLR dock came out for the Stream Deck Plus, you could not hook up two devices. You literally could you could only have the XLR dock or the Elgato Wave 3 because I was like, this is sweet. I can have my XLR and the Elgato Wave 3 hooked up, and because I used to do that. I used to have both mics hooked up before I was using when I used the Focusrite with the Cloud Lifter, and I'd go back and forth. I'd change it up, and it literally was like you could only have one Elgato device set up. And I'm like, you're kidding me. That is now gone. You can have as many as you want. Also, the Wavelink application is free for everyone, no matter what devices you're using. You used to have at least one Wave device, and now you don't. So that's a new thing. So this software right here is free for everybody. So even if you don't have an Elgato thing. So Creative Lady, if you have an OG Wave 3, then if this is the application you would use, you don't need a Rodecaster. This basically replaces the Rodecaster as long as you're okay with software. And then, of course, Stream Deck Plus with the dials gives you the hardware ability to make those adjustments, which is what you see over here. This is my Stream Deck Plus profile that has nothing on it, but you can see the dials showing up here. I wish I could zoom in. I can actually change it so you just see the application, but you should be able to see it where you can see the levels, and then I can actually change those levels, and I see those levels on my device itself too. So, all right. So what we're going to do next, all we have to do here is the first thing I'm going to do actually is I'm actually going to put these headphones in, I think. But I have to set them up. I do have to set them up. Which is no big deal. I just want to try the wireless. All right. Looks like we're getting somewhere. Is that what these are? Oh, it is. So, fun fact for you guys, I don't typically wear these big honkin' headphones because they screw up my hair, for one. I also feel like, I don't know why, I feel like they're hard to use, and they shouldn't be, but I feel like they are. Why are we still connecting? Watch. I wonder if it's going to show. Once it doing right now. That shouldn't be taking that long. Let me see. Okay, yeah. All right, now what I'm going to try here is I'm actually going to change the personal mix to this headset right here instead of the speakers. Oh, I hear it in both. It works in, I didn't know that you could do that. Okay, maybe not. I can never find the dials. Oh my gosh. I can never find the dials. There we go. There is a delay. There's a delay in the headset. Pretty sure there is. Okay. That already tells me we're probably going to have a problem. All right. So if I were to add the XLR dock to personal mix, I would hear the microphone in this headset and there would be a delay. So like right now, oh yeah, huge delay. So I'm going to take that out. I don't want to listen to that. It's interesting that there's such a delay in the wireless headset, even with the music. Kind of a disappointing thing. We call this latency. So you have a Rodecaster. So you're going to have basically dual. Here's what I would not, if you have a Rodecaster and you like it, do not worry about the Wavelink software. The only thing the Wavelink software is going to offer you that the Rodecaster does not is some of its like adjustments. So like, for example, if I go into this microphone and you can see it's got some software edits that are built in, you won't have that. You won't have that in your I think Rodecaster, I'm assuming it works with the Rodecaster app, which probably has similar stuff. So you really don't have it's not going to offer you any benefit if you do that. So that's kind of the thing. All right. So I was skeptical about this. I was definitely skeptical about latency and them saying there wasn't going to be latency. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to go ahead and switch mics. So the way I would do that is I'm going to mute the dock, which is the mic I'm talking to, and then I'm going to add this. So right now, as you can see, this microphone is not pushing into anything. It's not pushing into my personal mix, which is coming out of my speakers and into my headphones. And then the stream mix is what you guys hear. So right now, so for example, my music is louder here than it is for you guys. You guys can probably barely hear the music. I can hear the music. So like if that's the whole point. It's like if you're vibing out and you want to be talking, but you want to hear your music louder, you can change that. That's the whole point. This is what I hear. This is what you hear. This is my dance space and this is your dance space. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to see if this works. And well, before I do, it looks like it's already got me. It's got some settings in there, so we'll tinker with those here in a sec. I guess really all I had to do was go back to this mic So I think that I turned the music off on purpose, and I think that I might have to restart the Wave app. But what's this happened on something else I was doing where it didn't show it anything happening, but it was, like, it was still pushing sound out. So right now, you should hear me because I'm talking through the Shure mic. But what I really need to know from you guys is when I switch, whether or not God, I cannot control this stuff. Took a hot break, back now. Okay, here's what I need to know. I'm gonna switch back. Oh, hot tub break. Oh, dang, I'm jealous. All right, so Robin, you missed the whole tech side of things, but it's okay. Um, I'm going to switch mics back. So when you guys see me on screens, when you see on the screen, when I mute this right here that you see, and then I right now it shows that you're hearing both. I don't know. Okay. Right now you should just be hearing me through the Shure, which is this channel. I am going to mute this and go here next and see if you guys can hear me. So you got to tell me in the comments. Yeah, so it's not registering and it's not coming through on the test either. So something's off. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to close the Wavelink app and then I'm going to reopen it. So maybe restarting it, maybe something needs to happen with that. Something's off, that's for sure. Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh, now it's working. But there's definitely a delay. Okay, so you should only hear me through the Shure at this point, but as you guys, I could hear it and you saw the green bars moving. But also I noticed up here, I didn't click on this. So we didn't set up the mic, but I don't know that it would have mattered. I think it still would have required us to reboot the app. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the Shure mic out of the way and I'm going to go solely to the Elgato Wave 3. Yeah, Echo. Yep, so here's the deal. So um True Crime Sushi, the reason you heard an echo is because both mics were registering. I hope that's the case. So tell me if you hear an echo after I make these adjustments here. Okay, so you should hear me in the um Elgato Wave 3 now at this point. So you guys let me know. I definitely hear it and there is definitely an echo. So the whole processing thing, at least with these wireless This wireless headset, there's an echo. Yeah. 5 5 by 5. I love it. See, we got a new thing. And you know what makes it so awesome is that we got it from another audience member. I love when we can come up with new stuff and make new stuff like that. This is the worst sound ever, by the way, in my ears. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do actually. We're going old school. I really don't like to be wired, you guys. For that, I just went and got in that drawer. I wouldn't have been able to do that if I had these on. These are some cheap ass headphones too. Oh, I'm so sorry. I can never get these to turn off. Like I straight up cannot ever get them to turn off. I do not know why. Should I test it? I'm just gonna do this. All right. Um, like it's so bad. And honestly, what's weird, I can't even do that. What's really weird is on the other microphone, if you plug the headphones into the back of the mic, there's no latency. Like there's zero latency. So I'm gonna keep tinkering with it. I can't handle the latency. I cannot handle the echo in my ears. But I was hopeful, but I was very skeptical about the latency aspect of the MK2 having processor right in there. So, yeah. Yeah, the echo I was hearing was, um, it was coming out of my speakers and in my headphones because I had 2 personal monitor outputs hooked up. Typical Tyreek is here. What's going on? Um, we are tinkering tonight. So, Tyreek, we basically opened up the Wave 3 MK2 and we were kind of playing around with it and we're it's not the easiest setup. It's not been the smoothest setup. Not necessarily the problem with the hardware, mostly problem with user here. All right, so what I wanted to do is I wanted to go in. So one of the things that the that this brings you is it does have some additional features to help you optimize how you sound. So that was going to be one of the benefits of the headphones, which seems to be an issue at this point, but we'll give it a shot. Oh, the latency is better. That's weird. Now there's no latency. There was seriously latency before. Now there's not. That is strange. Okay. All right. Let's just go through this process. So get started. Explore your device. Get to know your Wave 3. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. This is just telling us everything. Mute button. That's what that is. Um, voice tune. That is a feature. Oh, I have that on. Maybe. I don't know. Voice tune, and then let's see, setup input gain, right? Adjust output volume, same. This is all the same. Linear mic mix lets you adjust, if you how much of your own voice you hear versus the PC and things like that. These three features are no different than before, except there is now this AI sort of voice tune that's added to it. All right, connect your headphones. We're connected. Yep, we're connected. Plug your headphones into the back. Use the audio sample below to fine tune your audio output volume. I think it's fine. Position your mic. Yeah. So this is what it always wants. If you guys look at me right now, like this guy, that's kind of like the beauty, the sweet spot that people recommend. So we'll give that a shot. I don't like this. It says this is literally what they say. Speak into the side of the Wave 3. The side is the side. This is the front. You're supposed to speak into the front of the Wave 3 where the logo is. That is the front, in my opinion, because that's where the switch is. That's where the like monitor light is. I hate that they have said that. I noticed that in their videos when they launched this product. And I was like, why are they saying the side? Drives me crazy. All right, let's set your gain. To get clear bounced. Da, 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 da. Pricing. I'm speaking at a normal volume to test the gain. I'm speaking at a normal volume to test the gain, making sure everything sounds clear, balanced, and consistent, with my voice neither too loud nor too quiet and easy to listen to. I wouldn't say that I'm easy to listen to, but you know. Wait, what would miss? Oh, I see what it's doing. It's actually recording me right now. I'm actually going to talk the way I always talk when I stream. So screw the normal crap because this is how I'm going to be talking when I'm talking to you guys. So why would I do that? All right. So what it did is it recorded me talking and it's auto adjusting the gain, which is pretty low in my opinion. I feel like I normally have it louder than that. So you guys tell me what you think as far as the audio level. Um, Fruitcrime Sushi says, I hear we're connected like it's electric. Boogie woogie woogie. So, gain lock, by the way, what that's going to do is when you click gain lock, other applications, especially if you're using Teams or Zoom, or even Google Meet, they are notorious for over adjusting your audio level to a point where quite frustrating, to be honest with you. So now StreamYard does have auto gain as well. However, I have that turned off, so it wouldn't be a problem here. But if you wanted, even if I think I had it turned on, I think if this is on, it wouldn't actually work. So gain lock essentially locks you in and cannot let other applications adjust the actual gain on your microphone. Real-time voice monitoring. Hear yourself as you speak. Real-time monitoring plays your voice back to your headphones with zero delay so you can always sound in control. PC audio example. Oh, that really doesn't do anything for me. Direct monitoring. What does that mean? Exclude software effects from self-monitoring to prevent latency. Oh, okay. What this means, I believe, is if I apply some of the EQ and voice assist, if I want to hear what that sounds like through my headset, I need to turn that off. But the problem is by doing that, there is going to be a latency with it getting to my headset because see, this is sort of like fault. See, this is where I'm getting a little frustrated because the software processing will slow that signal down before it hits my ears through the headphone. To me, that is like not what they advertise. To me, they've advertised you can do direct monitoring and blah blah blah, no with no latency. I think this means you can't have the software on if you want that to happen. So I don't. Oh, yeah. So now I hear my voice. It does sound better, but I hear it with a very slight delay. Like I do know that a lot of streamers do this and they actually have just gotten accustomed and used to the delay. For me personally, I can't handle it. Screw that. I literally can't handle that. So that's not happening. I feel like that's better. What is that? Okay, yeah, this is half PC. What's that? Mic PC blend. Right. Linear mic mix, set mic level. Huh? I don't really know the difference. Oh, wait a minute. I'm looking at no, I don't know what the heck that is. I don't know. All I know is I feel like I can barely hear myself. So I feel like I want to turn it up so that I can. But this right here is how I would hear what you hear, except again, there is a delay in my ears and I can't handle that. So that, in my opinion, was what the whole mk2, the processor inside, blah. That's why it's $20 more than the old mic or whatever it is. That to me was the whole point. Honestly, guys, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I think that 90% of us, we aren't gonna whoa, it went back to the delay. We aren't going to care. There. Why okay, I don't know why that I guess I clicked it. I just don't think people are gonna value that enough. So unless the whole voice assist part and some of that other stuff is really that valuable, the mic is probably not that different than the old Wave 3, which by the way is now on sale everywhere because this one's coming out. So for example, if you go to Best Buy, you can get the original Wave 3 on sale. And so again, if you're on a budget and you want to cut costs, that microphone is freaking fantastic. It's an amazing microphone. Most of the This is something to keep in mind when a brand new product launches, especially from somebody like Elgato or Shure or Rode, they send their product to a ton of people ahead of time. And people are generally overly positive because they're excited. Some people are super into being um, really honest. And here's the thing that here's what I think. Most content creators are more likely to not do a review or talk about a product when they don't love it instead of bashing it. So if all you're seeing is a ton of overwhelmingly positive content about product and some of your other content creators that usually review products all of a sudden aren't talking about that product, it might be a red flag. Um, I do know that a lot of content creators did say they were like, look, if you already have a mic or you already, in fact, Harris Heller was one of the ones that did this. I love Harris. He's always super honest. He said, don't go out and buy this microphone if you already have like the Elgato suite of products. He's like, all this stuff that they just came out with is better than the original stuff. He said, but it's not enough to like go swap all your stuff out. Now, the arguably you could say the Stream Deck Plus XL to Lawrence's point earlier might be worth it because it does provide, in my opinion, a significant difference. It's significant, I don't know, enhancement. This microphone is not that different than the original. The XLR dock that's going to come out is going to have processing on it. It might be worth it. Maybe it's better for XLR mics. Don't know. But overall, I don't know that it's really that big a deal. So, but I wanted to have another Wave 3 microphone. In fact, I'm glad I waited because I almost bought another Wave 3 microphone a few months ago. And I was like, why would you do that? You have other microphones. But then I was like, doing this whole thing up here and I was like working with this and I'm like, oh, I just don't love it. So I went ahead and bought it because I was like, I really do want to see if that latency still happens. Um, but if not, then it won't be, then I'll know and it won't be worth it. So anyway, here's what I'm going to do next. I'm actually just curious if there is latency in the wireless mic because there was when I put these on first because I think this wasn't selected. Um, but there are some additional Oh, of course there's a firmware update because I just bought the mic and it's obviously been updated. So anytime you buy hardware, always check to see if there's a firmware update. Always. Honestly, that's all gotten so much easier now with these applications. But if you have a piece of hardware that's been put away for a while and you get it back out, you should expect a firmware update with it for sure. And you do have to have the companion software in most cases to do that. So, for example, when I busted out the Shure microphone a couple weeks ago, for any of you guys that joined me for that, it was a marathon. I had to do that. I had to download the software, even though I was planning to use the XLR, which does not require the software. I had to download the software in order to update the firmware on the mic. So, okay, so cool. This is good. Good feedback. So, True Crime Sushi says, I think I like the Shures sound better, at least at this point. Yep. And you know what? That might be the case. I have not gone in and done any of the effects yet. So we're going to do that here next. So that is definitely a thing. Now, I think I probably will go ahead and do the firmware update really quick. All right. Yeah. We're back in business. All right, that was a quick update. All right, so the next thing to do is to go in and play with the effects. So this is going to possibly help dial the sound in better. So we're going to play with that. Now, expander is going to feel like that doesn't typically make a difference. These all came from the I feel like they got all these ideas from other apps, which I'm fine with, but it's all good. Low cut filter, it cuts the low end noise like typing and turning like it's basically uses frequencies to know what to take out. I think it's probably good to have that on. Voice tune definitely makes a difference, I think. I mean, you guys tell me. This is no voice tune, and this is with voice tune. Now we can strengthen this up, but voice tune specifically adds analog style compression and gentle harmonic warmth. So sushi, I'm gonna call you sushi. True crime sushi. That's kind of what I think you're getting at. I like the woody NPR sound as opposed to the tinny sound. I agree. I want to sound. I have a deeper, bassier voice. I want that to come through. I want that warmth to come through like you're talking about. All right, so compressor smooths out highs and lows for consistent polished sound. That I believe is good. Now we can make adjustments to it. So I'm not going to go crazy here because you guys, I don't really know what I'm doing. But let's turn it on. Oh, I hear a huge difference. I hear that. Okay. Now I'm starting to get kind of excited. Because the reason I'm starting to get kind of excited is because I actually hear that in my ears. That's no latency, but that is one of the effects that I thought it said I wouldn't hear if I didn't have latency. So that's pretty fantastic. Now, what are we supposed to do with this screen? I have no idea. I literally have zero idea because I've not watched any tutorials on this or videos. So I don't know what we do here. I don't know. I have no clue what to do here. So we got a sound check. There's that. I don't know oh, the sound check is actually cool because you can record it and it's going to keep replaying it back to you while you make adjustments. Oh, yeah, that was weird. I don't know. That wasn't. Oh, that was very strange. I heard it through the other headphones here. All right, equalizer. Equalizer. This is the EQ. Now, the old Wavelink application definitely had the EQ. Okay, good. It says much more full bodied. Thank you. True Crime Sushi. So this is, I believe, this is already set. I think this might be an EQ that I downloaded already. I'm not sure. But anyway, let's turn it on and we can turn it off. All right, so that's with the EQ on. I think it actually brings the bass even further in at this point. So that, I think that sounds pretty good. This is with the EQ off. So that's with that would be this being flat. This is with the EQ back on. So yeah, I think in my ears it sounds really good, but you guys tell me what you guys think on the various devices that you're listening to right now. Also, keep in mind that this mic is about 6 inches from my face and it's a little bit down below. Um, so it's not even like if I'm like here, I'm even more directly into the recording pattern versus up here, I'm talking above the mic a little bit. So again, very impressive. And we're going to pull the mic away from me in a minute and we're going to do a little bit of a proximity change to see if I can have the mic further away. I think that sounds really good. Now, voice focus is essentially that. It's okay, good. Creative Lady says she's on her TV. Sounds good. So voice focus is the whole AI thing that they've added. Now, they already had the voice focus in the application, the Wavelink application, regardless of using this microphone. I believe it made a difference. I used it with the Shure and I believe it did make a difference. So it says it cleans up your audio using AI powered noise and echo reduction. I think this is important, especially if you're not in a sound treated room, which I am definitely not, to have that on. Now you can reduce how strong it comes through and how much it is. I don't know why you wouldn't want it to be on strong unless it does weird things with noises you do need. Like, for example, some of you are crafters or you're doing things and then you might want some of those other noises to come through. You may not want this. I personally probably want it. What I think it could possibly do is I need to read about it. Is why would you not want it on 100%? Maybe it's because it if I have, music playing or some I don't know, maybe I don't think it would because it's using software and it knows to differentiate those channels. So, I don't know, we're just gonna leave it right here. It's all good. Now, if I had other effects that I wanted to download and add, I can add those here. So again, the software provides you with a lot of abilities to adjust everything. This is just naming some other stuff. This is really just that. All right, so you guys tell me. Let's go in and let's do a comparison now that we've dialed this in. So I'm actually going to move the Shure back over. I used to do this all the time. All right, so I am going to, good Lord. I want to change up our view really quick. So give me a sec. I'm going to just share the window this time because I want you to see it bigger. All right. That's really probably what I should have had open. I'm sorry, before. I kind of thought we were going to get into the other stuff too, but honestly, it's getting kind of late. So I probably won't be tinkering with the Stream Deck Plus settings. Honestly, I've got all weekend. I will probably go live tomorrow and do some live tinkering tomorrow. So, um, okay, here's we go. Oh, all right. So Lawrence says, it sounds good, but I'm also in my Jeep with 19 speakers, so that could be why. Dang, what kind of Jeep do you have? Because I had 3 different Wranglers, and I finally the last Jeep I had, I did the upgraded sound, and I still didn't think it was that great. And now I have a Grand Cherokee, and it sounds pretty good, but it's not amazing. So be curious what you've got. Crayfly said, I can't recall, but will using Elgato audio effects not let us monetize? No, no, no. It should have no effect on that, creative lady. The issue with the audio effects is just doing what we were just doing. It's adjusting the sound of your voice. It's adjusting it's eliminating background noise. It's only enhancing your voice audio, which is yours. if you were adding sound effects or music and things like that, and it wasn't music that you had the rights to, that would cause problems. I think that where we're seeing some things with monetization being in jeopardy or at risk is if you are using AI to literally portray yourself, or if you are like playing something and it's been completely made with AI, like the voice and the like it's not created by you. That I believe is where there's going to be some issues. And I think I don't even know all the rules, so do not. I am not even claiming to know them. But from what I understand, it has to do with if you put a video out there and it's produced and it's a likeness of you, but you used AI to do all the like. If you go to Canva right now and you upload a picture, you can literally make that picture turn into a video. If you do that and then you have an AI voice, that is literally an AI video. That I believe is not. You cannot use that to monetize. I think that's the rule right now. So yeah. Grand Cherokee Summit, I could tell you had the Grand Cherokee in one of the videos you did. Yeah, when, one of my shorts, when I was, in the garage, right? That was the last short I did. The one I uploaded 2 days ago? Yesterday? When was that? I don't know. I gotta do a short this weekend because I wanna do, like I wanna try to do, like, 2 to 3 per week of shorts. That's my goal. I'm not gonna be able to do every day, I just feel it, but 2 to 3 per week is my goal. Alright, here's what I wanna do. I wanna go from back and forth from mic to mic, and you guys tell me what you think. So I am gonna rely on you guys in the comments right now. So there's a few of you watching. Lawrence, dear God, you're driving, so I just realized that, so please be careful. Um, but we got Creative Lady here, and, Crime Junkie Sushi, True Crime Sushi, is still here hopefully too. So, all right. So right now you're listening to the Elgato Wave 3 MK2. It is dialed in with software. It is tuned in, if you will, with the Wavelink application, the settings, the EQ, all that stuff. Um, there you go. Marianne says, close your eyes and listen. Yes. So this is the Elgato XLR or the Elgato Wave 3 MK2. So now I'm going to switch over back over to the Shure, which is through the XLR dock. Should have been faster. Hold on. We're still getting there. All right. Now this is the Shure MV7. Now this is via XLR. It does have some settings adjusting, but very minor. Very just a low cut filter is on, and the voice focus is on. So again, voice focus comes in the Wavelink application, regardless of your microphone. It does not have an EQ and all the other things dialed in. We're not utilizing any of those other aspects of it. Simply because we didn't. We didn't add it and we didn't try. And so this right now is the Shure MV7 going through the XLR. It's not USB, and it is going through the Wavelink application. All right. So Creative Lady says, I can't tell other than both sound great. And that is actually what my feedback was 2, 3 years ago when I used to use the Shure and I kinda toggled back and forth between the microphones. It was like some people are like, "Oh, I can tell a difference." And then oh, yeah, 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 testing. I will okay, I will. I'll say the same thing. I'll do a test back and forth. I'll say the same thing, repeated on both mics with no fluctuation and no different text. Because she's right, Marian is right, that's the way to do it. But people said that. They were like, "I can't tell a difference," or some people said, "I like the Shure better." Some people said they like the Elgato better, whatever. All right. We're gonna do what Marianne suggested, because she's right. So we're gonna start with the Shure. I'll go back and forth twice, by the way. So I'm gonna say the same thing, and I'll repeat it. So you'll hear it once, and I'll switch mics, and you'll hear it again, and then I'll go back and forth. Let me get my mouse in the right spot here so I can do that. Okay. In 2026, we're gonna be scrappy, but we're not gonna be crappy. In 2026, we're gonna be scrappy, but we're not gonna be crappy. In 2026, we're gonna be scrappy, but not crappy. In 2026, we're gonna be scrappy, but not crappy. All right, I'm gonna stick on the Elgato Wave 3. You guys know how hard it is to say the same phrase 4 times and try to make it sound exactly the same? It's actually kind of hard. I'm not gonna lie. All right, so you guys tell me, What do you guys think? Do you like the Elgato Wave 3 or do you like the Shure MV7? Should I do a poll? Okay. This is actually I wondered this, and I think it's because 'cause I'm moving around. Uh, so sure, but maybe say what you're using. Oh, yeah, okay. Alright, so, True Crime Sushi, I just moved the mic so that while I'm reading your comments, I'm facing the mic better. That is definitely a thing. Um, so she's here she says, "I don't feel like the Elgato is consistent. Most of the time it's very comparable. Once in a while on the Elgato, it sounds like you're the captain calling from the flight deck." So, I think that it's possibly because I was moving around and not talking. So is it doing it now? Because I'm not talking directly into the mic itself, and it's got a very narrow directional pattern, I believe, compared to the Shure, which is interesting because I always felt like the Shure had a very narrow pattern, but I can hear it in my ears for sure. Like when I turn my head, that it does sound different. So the lady said she had her eyes closed. Um, Marian says Elgato sounded better. Hold on, there's like a thing in the way of the comment. Elgato sounded louder, and I'm surprised it's actually further away from your mouth. And that honestly, Marian, that could just be the gain. That could just be the way I have the gain set. But that is 100% the biggest difference, in my opinion, between these two microphones. The Shure MV7 does not have a good proximity range. You have to be very close to the mic and talk directly into where it records for you to get the quality that it's meant to create. You cannot have this microphone far from you. Whereas I have used the Elgato Wave 3, the original, many, many times and moved the mic far enough away so it's out of the shot and it sounds exceptional. So I agree. I think it is an insanely high quality mic that again, yes, you don't have to eat the mic. Now, everyone will tell you the best mic is the one closest to your mouth. And I can tell you right now, if I get really close to this mic, it's gonna sound pure, it's gonna sound amazing, and one of the things that is very impressive about this microphone is that it's built-in pop filter. It's insane. It's absolutely incredible. I'm gonna do the same thing with the Shure, and you're gonna hear my plosives, they're not great. So again, plosives, they're gonna pop. You're gonna hear them. You hear it a little bit here, but it's very minimal, especially for how close I am to the mic. Okay, same thing. I'm actually really close to this microphone, but you're going to hear the pops and the plosives probably a lot more. I actually don't really hear them in my ear quite as much, but I'm curious if you hear the pops and the plosives more. Now, pop and the plosive is the puff of air that you hear, and it kind of has that like jarring sound to it. Now, I am really close into the Shure microphone right now, but I am like practically eating this damn thing, and I just don't want to have the mic this close. The only way that I'm willing to have a mic this close is if I'm recording a podcast, both on video or even you guys can't even see me. I just realized I'm not in the shot at all. Or actual just a podcast video that is only a podcast, not recorded via video. It does sound better when you're closer to the microphone, of course. And if I was doing a podcast recording via video, I think that people are accustomed to it and they like that look of a microphone practically in your mouth because you're recording a podcast. Okay. So, True Crime Sushi says, I don't hear them. And you know what? It could be that the low cut filter and other stuff is helping, but the Shure MV7 used to be pretty bad when it came to the plosives. And it was definitely one of the things. I will tell you, if you guys have ever seen the Rode Pod mic, the silver one, it's that $99 mic. It was very popular. It's still popular. It's a great mic. It's an XLR microphone. It absolutely has terrible plosives. Awful. You have to have that mic so close to you because it needs a cloud lifter, and if you have it close because of that, the plosives are horrible. Also, it's one of those mics that I feel like it also picks up every little, like, noise your mouth makes, like, when you swallow and when you just all those little, like, noises your mouth makes, and, I hate that. So, anyway, but yeah, fun fact for you. Okay, yeah, so Marion's like, "Yeah, so for that reason, you gotta decide how close you want the mic." So here's the deal. That was the last thing I wanted to test is I wanted to see how well it does further away from me. So, let's just, I'm gonna change my view. Let me move it. Yeah, I mean, it's like you can barely see the mic now. I mean, it's like barely in the shot. I mean, I can have it up a little bit further, but yeah, so what do you guys think? I mean, it definitely sounds it's not gonna sound as pure, because it is further away. However, I do think it still sounds really good, and I'll tell you, when it comes to the desk I'm using, it's a lot of hard surface around me. So, that is a factor. So if you need to have a mic further away, if you can soften your space, that's going to actually help it sound better. But yeah, so Marion says it still sounds good further away. I agree. And if I had started this way and didn't do a comparison of going in and out, you probably wouldn't even notice or care. And that's the beauty of it. So I know that this is going to be a great mic. I know it's fantastic. In fact, this is a range that I feel comfortable with having it out of the way. Um, I guess with this setup, because I've got my camera to the side instead of above my monitor, when I'm doing streams like this and I'm gonna be turned away like this, I am gonna have to keep that in mind. I may have to, like, put the mic sorta in between because I need to share the space. Because 'cause I'm not always gonna be looking directly into the camera like I am now, because doing that, I can't see comments, I can't see anything because it's all over here. So, that's definitely something to do. Yeah. So, Creative Lady's right. She's like, "When you watch the playback, then you'll know." She's right. The playback is where it all happens. Also, the thing I like to recommend when you're checking your audio after the fact, listen to it on a phone and listen to it in headphones and listen to it, in all the ways you can. Because it doesn't always sound great if you're just listening to it on your phone, which is where a lot of people go back and check. But if you listen to it with your headphones, that's where you're going to hear it the best. But what the real test is to go watch a few other videos and then go watch yours. Because even if you think it sounds great, then you go watch somebody else's and you're like, holy crap. And then you realize your video sounds great, but it's very quiet. I've had a few of those where I'm like, I like how it sounds, but then I realized my volume was almost all the way up for me to hear it. And vice versa. You might be on a bunch of other quality streams or quality replays, and then you go to yours and it's like way too loud. So that's kind of another thing to keep in mind too. I don't like to play the comparison game a lot, and I don't encourage everyone to do it. So don't do it as like a way to feel like you're not good enough. Do it in a way to gauge and to use it as a measuring stick. That's what you want to do. Okay, you guys, it's so late. It's so late. We've been live for 2 hours. I really wasn't planning on being live for 2 hours. I was gonna just kinda do some stuff, but I didn't you never know, like, if when people show up and they talk, you never know how the conversation is gonna go or flow, and this was fun. So I really appreciate it. This is I love doing things like this, and I like to explain stuff as I go, which does make a stream longer, but I personally think that that's sort of that's some of what you guys like is you enjoy me kind of breaking stuff down and helping you understand, like why a certain thing is a certain way or why a setting is different now, why should you care, why should you not care, etc. And so some of it might be over explanatory, but it's kind of what we do, especially when we're doing a tinkering stream. I always also have good intentions of like getting on a tinkering stream and like, just doing stuff and not even really engaging that much with the audience, but then I always get distracted by you guys, and we talk and we have fun, and then I'm like, "Oh, yeah, remember we were gonna do X, Y, and Z too," and we ran out of time, which is what happened tonight, and it's what always happens, but It's all right. I'll get better at it. I want the things I wanna do this weekend, so if you're around and you want some background noise and you wanna hang out like you guys did tonight, which I super duper appreciate you guys, I'm planning on this weekend, doing some stuff around the house and, also yard work, dear God, if, the weather will cooperate, but I want to set up my Stream Deck Plus so that it has the sound effect buttons, and I want to work on my OBS scenes because even though we've got scenes in StreamYard like we talked about earlier, I still really like to use OBS for two things. One, to record my videos. So any of my pre-recorded videos that I do, I like to use OBS. And then I also like to use the scenes because then I can have extra cameras and do some stuff and not have to go to that high tiered paid plan with StreamYard. So my goal this weekend is to work on some of those scenes and get the Stream Deck dialed in so that they will work, get the sound effects dialed in again. Because if you guys remember, I mean, I used to do some pretty creative stuff with my streams using OBS and then just turning on the virtual camera. And then when I go to StreamYard, I just use OBS virtual camera as my webcam. And then that just adds another layer of customization. And I used to do some pretty cool stuff and we used to have a lot of fun. So I kind of want to get back to a little bit of that. But I also want to optimize some of the scenes. I want to set up a streaming profile, but then also a recording profile. Um, and I wanted recording profile is for the layouts I want to use for my videos when I do a tutorial. So for example, when I show you how to set something up or when I show you how a feature in StreamYard or a feature in Canva or whatever, I want to set those scenes up so that I can get back to creating those. Because again, when I stripped everything down, I kind of also decided I just want to rebuild everything from scratch because the applications have updated, they've changed, and I just kind of wanted to go through it again. And so I need to get all that stuff kind of set up. And so I absolutely underutilize my Stream Deck. I don't use it for as much as I should, and so I want to get better about that. So I want to get it set up for what I use now, and then continue to optimize it. So I kind of plan on doing a little bit of that this weekend. Um, and so I'll probably go live and tinker with it a little bit, and then I don't know if I'll work on the brand this weekend or not. I probably will work on that next week, but I am definitely gonna be, updating my website, and I'm in the midst of sorta, like, just getting my brand refreshed because right now it's like, yeah, I use some purples and I use some yellows and I do this and I have a logo and I have that, but, like, it's not like it's sort of it's I wouldn't even I mean, it's scrappy, but I don't know that it's not crappy. Let me just put it that way. It's inconsistent. It goes against all of my standards in regards to that stuff. So I kind of want to just get that honed in, but I don't, that's probably not going to be this weekend. That's probably going to be an evolution over the next week or two. And then I want to, once I have that done, then the goal is to get everything updated. Make sure I've got the colors updated in all the apps that I use. Make sure that my brand guide is updated in Canva so that as and I use CapCut to edit my shorts and edit my videos to get presets set in there, just to get the workflow straightened out, right? Because I need to get the workflow straightened out, and that's kind of just that stuff takes time, as you guys know. So that's kind of the next steps, the goal. So and yes, creative lady, you're absolutely correct. Done is better than perfect, which is exactly how I've been operating. But for me, that, for what I'm talking about as far as, like, my brand and the inconsistencies and, like, things like the purples and other stuff, that can only last so long. And so I'm ready to kinda, like, get it dialed in a little bit and, kinda make sure that we're back in business with some of that. Am going to remove that, get this on the other monitor because I will tell you that StreamYard on my little laptop was not cutting it. I could, like, barely see stuff the way that it was like everything was overlapping and stuff. Because I wanted to get to this comment. Sorry, I was reading, Creative Lady's comments too, so I love it. Let's see. True Crime Sushi says, "I've been on a streaming break for 2 years. I'm getting ready to come back. I used to watch you all the time. I really appreciate your contributions in my genre. There's lots of gatekeeping." Well, I love that you, I did not, remember that you had been a viewer before, so I'm glad that you're here. And I'm glad that we're doing in my genre, there's lots of gatekeeping. I would be very interested to hear more about that. So you tell me if you're gonna be around this weekend, and maybe you can jump in and we can catch up on that stuff in the stream as well. So yeah, studio tour for sure. So Creative Lady, that is on the list. Downstairs, Studio B, official tour, as well as a new tour up here. I can't promise cable management will be cable management is, like, never done in my studios, but it might be a little bit of a hot mess, but who cares? I do owe you guys an update for sure, so all right, we're gonna call it a night because, oh my gosh, late, late, late. I'm, like, fighting back the yawns. Oh, I said it, so that's why it happened, but woo, this is a late one, you guys. Appreciate y'all. I'm definitely gonna shut this down, and we're gonna go to bed, so all right, I love you guys and appreciate you guys so much. So hopefully I'll see you this weekend. And until then, we'll see you around. See you guys. No outro tonight. We're just going to call it a night. Good night.